You're born in the year 161 AD, the son of the most powerful man in the world, Marcus Aurelius. Your father is not just an emperor, he's a philosopher, a warrior, a writer of books that Sigma males will read in the future, and you, Commodus, are destined to inherit Rome. Now, the beginning of your life, it's pretty awesome. You're raised in luxury, surrounded by scholars, generals, and politicians, and although your father spends most of his time at war expanding the empire's borders, and you don't get to see him that much, you get to live in unimaginable wealth. Any food you could ever want, all the girls you could ever want, and pretty much anything your heart could desire would be yours. Now, you're probably thinking, Doodle, this sounds pretty awesome. Why would being a Roman emperor suck? Well, let me introduce you to Doom. In 180 AD, your father dies during a military campaign. Some say he was poisoned, but either way, you're now the sole ruler of Rome at just 18 years old. And the Senate, they expect you to continue your father's legacy. Don't forget, your father was a warrior, a really good one. The people loved him because he was willing to put in the work and expand the borders and make Rome what it was. You, however, are not like your father. You don't love philosophy, politics, or military strategy. You're a kid. If you were born today, you'd be barely out of high school, and you don't want to go to war. You just want to enjoy the good life the way you have been for 18 years. So instead, you make peace with Rome's enemies, go back to the city, you leave the hard work to your advisors while you throw lavish parties, spend fortunes on entertainment, and surround yourself with people who flatter you. Now, over time, the inevitable happens. You start to hear whispers. Senators don't really like you. The people think you're weak. They think you're just a kid who inherited this empire and has no idea what to do with it. Generals don't respect you, and you obviously start to get pretty annoyed by this. You're the emperor. They have no right to behave like this, so you get rid of a couple. Who cares? But this made the people around you pretty unhappy. You go and tell your friends the things that you did, and they tell you what a smart decision you made. But something feels off. Even though they're telling you that it was such a good idea, they seem afraid. A little bit of time passes, and surprise, surprise, your friends start to betray you. They think you're not good enough to be emperor, so they start conspiring to kill you. All those girls and concubines you've been having, yeah, they're not safe now either. One of them tries to assassinate you. And even your sister, who, unlike you, actually kind of understands politics and believes Rome would be better off without you, she conspires with a group of senators to have you assassinated, which luckily for you did fail. But now, if you can't trust your sister, who can you trust? You start going a little mad. No one in your life is trustworthy. Not your friends, not your family, not the people who are supposed to help you. So to protect yourself, you purge anyone you suspect of treason, ordering executions left and right. But you're not satisfied with that. You're tired of everyone saying that you're not fit to be emperor. You don't want pleasures anymore. You want respect. You want people to look at you the way they looked at your dad. And how did your dad get respect again? In war, right? But you don't want to go to war. So what would be better? What if you become a gladiator, but you've never fought before and you obviously don't want to die in the arena? So what if you train and you rig the fights so you win every time? If the people see you as a great warrior, they'll have to respect you, right? Right? Wrong. You train for weeks with a gladiator named Narcissus who thinks you're going to go fight for real. But after weeks of training, you step in the Colosseum and you just easily go through anyone who comes in your way. A little too easily. And everyone can see right through it. Everyone knows these fights are rigged. This goes on for a while. Narcissus, tired of seeing other gladiators die because of you, gets fed up. So he goes up to your chambers, and in a final blow, the man who was supposed to train you to become a fighter and protect yourself grabs you and strangles you in your own bath. And as you lay there in your beautiful bathtub, you think back on your life and you realize that all that power and glory that you so desperately wanted will never be yours. The senators will probably make sure that your name will never be mentioned again, and you will never get that respect you so desperately crave. But hey, at least your life as a Roman emperor is over. You'll never have to do this again. Dang it, you're born as another emperor. This time you're born around 193 AD to 200 AD, just a few years after dying as Commodus. And as you look up at your new mother, she decides to call you Publius. Maybe Publius, I'm not sure. You have all your memories from your previous life, and from the moment you were born, you decide that you need to get back on the throne and prove to yourself and everyone around you that you deserve to be there. However, this time, you're not born as the son of a big-name emperor like Marcus Aurelius, but your family does have some connections. Your dad's a senator, respected, respected, but not exactly a household name, which you actually like much better since there's a lot less pressure for you to perform this time. You remember your old father, how he got his glory, and you decide to join some of the best military schools and training camps. As a kid, you learn fast. You realize that this time, power isn't going to be handed to you on a silver platter. You've got to earn it, and the military is your ticket there. Your early years are spent training, learning how to lead, how to fight, how to survive. You hear stories of great emperors, legends of military campaigns, and battles that shaped the empire, and you think, that's gonna be me again, and this time, I'm gonna be remembered. By the time you're in your 20s, you've actually made your mark. Campaign after campaign, you gain the respect of your fellow soldiers, your commanders, and even the emperor. You learn what Rome is actually built on: politics, alliances, and playing the game better than anyone else. And eventually, in 253 AD, after years of hard work and dedication, you've done it. You rose through the ranks, you played the game better than anyone else, and once again, you're sitting on the throne. You're the new emperor. Hey Doodle, this is a really inspiring story you've got here, but let me take over for the rest of the story, William. What do you mean? No, this story is actually going really well. I think this is gonna have a happy ending. You think? Well, yeah, I mean, what could go wrong at this point? Let me take over. No, stop. Actually, I like this story. I can tell the rest of it. Okay, so this time you're much older. You're wiser. You've actually got experience under your belt, and don't worry, no one can take that away from you. But hey, who's that behind you? He kind of looks Persian, huh? Yeah, you're about to know Persians really well. Shapur the First is rising in the east, and he's not just some king playing with his army. He's got a vision, he's got power, and you can feel it. You know that if you don't take him seriously, Rome's east is gonna be lost. But you've been doing this your entire life. You're not just a kid in the arena playing a rigged game anymore. You fought before and you've won. And this little king of Persia isn't going to stop you. So you lead your men into the heart of Persia, confident that victory will restore Rome's strength. But to your surprise, the Persians are waiting for you, and they've studied your tactics. They know how you fight, and you're ambushed. Your army is surrounded, cut off, your men fight, but it's hopeless. And then something happens that you never saw coming. You're captured. The Roman emperor captured. And Shapur doesn't just defeat you, he humiliates you. You're paraded through the street like some common prisoner of war, shackled, beaten, and dragged through the dirt. The Persian king doesn't want to just win. He wants to show the world that even the mightiest of emperors can fall. He begins to use you for propaganda. He humiliates you in the worst ways possible. He begins to use you for rituals. Then, possibly even worse, he starts to use you as a footstool to show you off to different guests and embarrass you. He wants people to see that he has a former Roman emperor at his feet. And some even say that eventually you are skinned alive, and that after your death, he is going to hang up your skin as a personal trophy. And even though you did everything right this time, you still die a violent death. A violent death just like 50% of emperors before and after you. Being remembered not for your accomplishments, but for being captured and humiliated. And as you close your eyes once again, and you look back on your life, you think to yourself, man, it really sucks to be a Roman emperor.